Hey friends, I am just about to head out to a Friendsgiving celebration and thought what better opportunity than to film and share my festive holiday look with you. So let's get started. I have my face done, my eyebrows done, and my lashes curled for the sake of time. But don't worry, I filmed how I did my face. So you can start out with a monotone face and a clean, fresh palette to put your makeup on when you get started in the morning. So because I do have my face done, neutral, monotoned, I want to put some color and shape back into my face. And I am going to start with bronzer and blush. Now today I'm using the Crunchy bronzer. This is in Healthy Glow. And I'm using a little bit of an angled brush. This is a loose powder, so I like it. It's just a little bit more of a wild card as far as placement and pigmentation than a pressed blush. I typically use the Beauty Counter bronzer in Dune, but it's in the other room where my baby's sleeping, so I ain't gonna do that. So I put it underneath my cheekbones from the top of the ear, angling down to the corner of my mouth on either side of my nose. I want to make my nose as slim and trim looking as possible. Bring it all the way down. And then I'm going to go in a rainbow shape on the top of my forehead where the sun would naturally give me a glow. Now this just brings shape back into my face. A little bit of color, not too much. You can just blend away. This is my contouring that I do. I don't do the whole shebang with the beauty blender or anything like that. And then whatever is left on my brush, I'm just going to chisel out my chin right there. And you could even give a little bit more structure, as these days we're gaining the lbs with the baby. Got to give a little bit more structure to that jawline. And then I am going to take my big brush. This is a great blush brush. It's fanned, it's wide, and I'm gonna dip it in this Horizon. This is the Golden Hour palette from Beauty Counter. It's brand new for the holidays. And I'm gonna go right above that bronzer. You can pucker your lips, you can kiss your lips, you can do whatever to bring that cheekbone up and help you determine location of that blush. I like to bring it up closer to my hairline as well. So you'll see those two blend together now. But with the darker on the bottom, it gives you more of a structure and definition. Okay, then I'm gonna take the beam, and I'm going to grab the bronzer brush that I used and just slide it in the beam. This is Highlight. And I'm gonna go, I just did the bridge of my nose, Cupid's bow, you can hit the bottom of your chin, and then I'm gonna go right above that blush. You can see where it's picking up the light. All right, so I love this palette because it's an all-in-one. You have your eyeshadows, you have your blush, and you have your highlight. The other reason why I love this palette is because it pairs so phenomenally with my other favorite Beauty Counter palette, the Classic palette. So when you look at this together, this could all be one palette and all of the colors complement each other and can be worn together or worn solo. So if you have this palette is a great addition. If you don't have this palette, you can start out with this palette, add this palette on later. And again, this is an all-in-one, encompassing so many products just in one, with an adorable pull-out mirror. Pull out, Very strategic so it doesn't get dirty from all of the dusting powder. And even a little sweet phrase, you clean up nice, just a good reminder. Okay, so I am going to throw on some shadow primer. This is the Shape Tape from Tarte. Braylon has completely destroyed it. So what I do is just rub it on my lids, and then I'll go back and grab that Beauty Blender, wherever that is. I just had it. Okay, my finger works good too. My ring finger, push that into the lid. This isn't a must, but again, on a day that I'm taking a little bit more time and having a little bit more fun with my makeup, I'm going to do the primer. I'm gonna hold these palettes like this so there is no confusion as to what is what. But I am going to start with the cinnamon up here with my fuller, rounder brush. And I'm gonna start in the corners and work my way in. So I'm gonna start in the corners with the darkest part of my eye, the most pigmented, and I'm gonna work my way, there's that hair in my brush, I'm gonna work my way in. Going in a C motion, just really blending that pigment into the outer corners and the outer crease of my eye. Okay, so now I'm going to take that same brush and I'm going to dip it in the shadow right here. And I'm going to use this across my lid, pushing the pigment into my lid so it stays that nice berry pigment. And the two just blend together really well. Okay, so now I'm gonna take my ring finger and dip it in that ray, swirl it around, and I'm gonna push the ray onto my lid on that inner eye. And the reason why I want to do this is because I want to preserve the sheen pigment to it. If I picked it up with my brush, it wouldn't transfer the same. And I'm just gonna blend that a little bit because I went a little too far. Okay, so now that my eyes are done, I'm just gonna add a little bit of highlight underneath my brow, and I'm gonna take a fuller, flatter brush and dip it in the ivory to go underneath my brow and give that light and bright. And then you could even bring it in to the corners of your eye. Okay, now for some eyeliner, I'm gonna take a very fine brush and I'm gonna dip it back into the cinnamon. That's the color that I started with on the outer corner of my eye, and I'm going to just run it across the bottom lash line. Now I like that like smoky, smudged bottom liner look. So this is one of my favorite things to do, is to use, it's called the drop shadow. So you're using eyeshadow in a concentrated area. The brush is very important. The type of brush that you're using is important to achieve that shadow look. And then just drag it across. All right. Like I said, I already curled my lashes. So I'm gonna grab my Thrive Cosmetics mascara and I'm gonna throw my mascara on. Now this is probably the longest part of my application, no joke, because I am a lashes girl. I love a million coats, even of the Thrive. And I'm very particular about like bringing my eyelashes out on the ends, bringing them up in the middle. So I take some time and I spend some time maneuvering them around. But to save time, I'm just gonna finish off my look. I thought it'd be fun to wear a purple liner with this look. Beautycounter has, they have brown, they have black, they have, this is called a violet pigment. And then they also have like a royal blue, which is really, well, it's like a navy actually. And this just gives my eye a little bit more definition on that waterline. Finished off my mascara, added a little bit more pigment to my bottom to make it more dramatic and darker, more sultry. And this is my finished look.